Hello, my name is Sally and I have my lovely model Judith with me this morning. And what we're going to do today is we are going to do a full makeover on Judith, creating, as part of our style series, creating a Hollywood glamour look for you today. And we're going to start sort of from scratch, do the full makeup, and then we are going to do some styling on Judith's hair and clothing as well. So Judith is warm, neutral tones. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend quite a lot of time creating a really beautiful, flawless base using some of our sort of warm, straight neutral colours on Judith today. So Judith is 69 years old, so our range of makeup with Look Fabulous Forever is perfect for her skin. So what we've already done is Judith has used her moisturiser, her Smooth the Day moisturiser, and we've let that sink in. And what I'm going to do before I start, which is always a nice thing to do, is to use a little bit of our beautiful moisturising balm on Judith's lips. So just that's it. Lovely. Thank you very much, Judith. And what I'll do is I will take this off, the excess off, before we do the lipstick, but it just gives the lips a bit of a hydration earlier on. So to make the most beautiful flawless base, the first product I'm going to use is the wonderful Smooth Like Silk Face Prime. And this will keep your makeup on all day, all night when you are being extra glamorous. So I use a couple of pumps and I'm just going to put this on with my hands and my fingers. What this does is it will basically fill in any open pores, any fine lines. Judith has a beautiful skin anyway, so this is just enhancing. It's like a decorator would prime a wall before putting on the paint, and it means also that the foundation that we use will last really well. Judith has beautiful rosy cheeks, but what I'm going to do is just tone them very slightly down so that we can then create the flawless foundation. So I'm going to use a little bit of Colour Balance Neutralizer in green, just on the rosiness. So I'm just putting it on and then just blending it gently with my finger, just on the redness. It's very clever. Green counteracts red, so if you've got any little red areas, then this is a wonderful and easy product to use. So I'm going to now create the base. I'm going to use a mix of Continuous Cover Foundation number 2 with a little bit of Light Look Beauty Balm number 1 and a little tiny bit of primer that I've already used. Just mix them together with my foundation brush number 3 and apply. So I start in the middle. Where I've put the green, I stipple rather than dragging it. Otherwise we're going to move where we've placed the green. So the brush is wonderful because you can get right into the little nooks and crannies. And this is a lovely, really nice coverage, but because Judith has got such beautiful skin, I don't want anything really heavy, and that's why I've added a little bit of the Light Look Beauty Balm in, just to create a really nice texture. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the Cover to Cover Concealer number 2 just on the areas that need that little bit of extra help. So we've all got little areas such as sunspots, and this just gives you that extra help. And I'm using concealer brush number 4 for the larger areas. So there's just a little, I'm the same, I've got a few little sunspots, particularly on my right hand side, because that's where you get the sun, the sun onto your face. But it's like tip X for the face. I love my concealer because it's still really creamy, so it's just like adding a little bit of extra help to the foundation. Sometimes I find I need a very slightly lighter concealer on the under eye area to the face, so sometimes I use a little bit of the number 1. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to set what I've done so far with the beautiful translucent powder, this product, which is really sheer. That's what I love about it. So it just will hold your base in place without adding. Some powders add to any fine lines. This one doesn't. It's so fine. And I'm using my lovely big fat powder brush number 1 to do that with. Just also going to add a little bit with the eyeshadow brush number 7, just to the eye area, just because it's a little bit more precise than using the larger powder brush, just to set where we've concealed. While I've got the powder out, I'm just using a cotton wool ball, and I'm taking a little bit of powder and just putting it onto the outer edge of Judith's eyes, so that when we do the eyeshadow, if there's any spillage, it will spill onto the powder and I can just dust it away. But if you do it yourself, that's sometimes a good thing to do, or you can hold a little cotton pad up to, it depends whether you need both hands to do it, but if you don't need both hands, this is a good tip to use. So the next product I'm going to use is the beautiful Smooth Out Eye Prime, and you only need the tiniest amount of this product, teeny amount, and I'm going to put this on Judith's eyes. So the most important thing is to put it onto dry, clean, oil-free eyelids. And what this does is it will get rid of any discoloration and fine veins that, as we get older, show through on our eyelids, which are so thin. So it means that when you put the eyeshadow on, it's a beautiful, true colour. But the other thing it does is it just does, as it says, it smooths out any sort of crepiness and allows your eyeshadow to stay on all day, all night without creasing. So I put it on with the brush, and then you can just use your finger if you want to, as long as your finger is clean and oil-free. So while we're on the primers, what I like to do at this stage is to use the third primer, which is the Never Feather Lip Prime, so that when we do our beautiful Hollywood Red or our lovely glamorous lipstick, it won't bleed at all. So I'm just going to take the excess of the moisturiser off. I'm going to put it just on the outer edge of Judith's beautiful lips. I do it now just to let it dry and just to remind myself to do it, so that I can then do the lipstick later. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to start on Judith's eyes, and we're going to use Bring Back Brow Shape in Blonde, just to help to define your eyebrows before we do the eyes. So what I'm going to do first is to use the spoolie brush, number 6, just to groom your eyebrows into shape. Shake the product. You've got a little ball bearing in it, so it's important to shake it first, and then be careful because it is a liquid, so keep it upright when you use it. I'm using Blonde, and I'm just going to, using little feathery stroke, go over Judith's natural brow line. Product is something that a lot of people are frightened to use, but once you've got the hang of it, it's actually really simple. It's waterproof. You can create a brow even if you have not a single eyebrow hair, because you can actually physically paint in individual hairs. You can already see that that has started to look more balanced. What I'm now going to do is to go back, this is an essential part of this process, with the spoolie brush after doing it, and soften. And this is when they look really, really natural, when you do that softening effect with the spoolie brush. Now what we're going to do is to create the Hollywood Glamour eyes for Judith. We've done the eyebrows, we've got our shape that we're going to work with. And I've decided to use the beautiful No Shimmer shade in Taupe, which is a really good neutral colour that suits everybody. And we're going to use that all over as a sort of base. And then I'm going to go a little bit stronger with charcoal, which, although it's slightly cooler, I use it, and it's great for cool and warm as well if you're creating a little bit of drama. This all over Judith's eyelid. Just basically a wash of colour. And I'm using the lovely fluffy eyeshadow brush, number 7. So I have brought the taupe a little bit higher than Judith's crease or socket line, just so that we can still see that colour when her eyes are open, just to lift the eyes slightly. So now we're going to use the slightly more dramatic charcoal, which is a really lovely grey, just on the outer corner. secret to this look is to really blend, blend, blend using our beautiful blending brush. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the beautiful soft grey eyeliner to define before going over it with the charcoal shadow. So this just helps to have the effect of thickening Judith's eyelashes and defining the eyes. They are so soft and beautiful to use that even if you are a bit frightened of eyeliners, you can't really go too wrong with them because they're so soft. Just lifted the outer edge very slightly. I'm now going to use the beautiful wedge brush number 8 with the charcoal just to go over the eyeliner. So this does two things. It sets the eyeliner, although it doesn't really need setting, but it just gives that extra bit of oomph to setting it because it's a powder, and it softens it slightly. So it's a really nice effect. So if you just close your eye again for me, thank you very much. Just relax, lovely. And the brush is perfect if you struggle with an eyeliner. You can just do this effect on its own as well. What I'm going to do now is to add an extra bit of Hollywood Glamour to Judith's eyes, which is using our Sheer Brilliance lid colour in Golden Mist. I love this product. You don't need very much, so I'm just going to use it in that middle inner third. Just blend it with the concealer brush. I find that's quite a good brush to blend this product with because it's quite stiff. What I'm now going to do is to add lashings of Lied Lash Mascara in Waterproof, and I'm going for the black on Judith. And don't sort of don't look right up until it's dry, if that's all right. Right, what I'm now going to use is the beautiful Instant Bright highlight pen, and I'm going to use it in a few areas. First of all, underneath Judith's brows, just in a sort of half moon shape, to use the concealer brush again. Useful brush this, just to blend that very slightly. Just gives a little bit of light under the brows. I'm also going to use it in a few areas. Light brings forward, so it has that slightly pretty effect of just, put a little bit also into the cheekbones area and just blend it with my finger. A real Hollywood highlighted look. What I'm going to do now is use a little bit of blusher, not very much, because we sort of focused on the eyes. So I'm going to use the beautiful Peach Cream shade. I like to put it on with my fingers and then blend it with the blusher brush number 2. So make a little bit, because Judith has beautiful rosy cheeks anyway, so we're not going to put a lot of blusher on, just a little bit. And I'm just using the blusher brush just to very gently blend it in. Because we've used the green, I don't want to do this too harshly, so just a little bit, again, sort of in a slightly circular motion. So now I'm going to use the beautiful Enduring Summer Bronze to give a little bit of contouring, a little bit of warmth. So I'm using, again, my big, lovely big brush number 1. A little bit just on the top of the brow, a little bit just on Judith's temple area. So it's a really lovely product that you can use like a contour powder. So just sweep over the top of the cheeks, and then I like to bring a little bit down to the jawline. This helps to define the jawline really well. I like to put a little bit on the neck area, which is often a little bit lighter in colour, just because it doesn't get the sun at all. So it's nice to put a tiny bit of bronzer on this area. So what we're going to do now is to finish the look with the Hollywood Glamorous lips on Judith, and this will really transform her. So I'm going to use Strawberry Lip Liner, which is a really lovely, soft, beautiful, warm red. So I like to outline first and then fill in the whole lip area with the lip pencil, which will then just allow a really good base for lipstick. Now I'm going to use the beautiful Hollywood Red, and I'm going to use lip brush number 5, which gives a really, really professional look. If you're going to put your lipstick on and it's a strong colour, really recommend using a lip brush. So let's take first. It's such a glamorous red. It's beautiful and it's got a little bit of warmth in it as well. Little trick of getting you to just bite and blot, lovely, and relax. And then, a little bit strange, I'm going to ask you just to hold the tissue just over your mouth. That's it. And I'm going to put a little bit of the translucent powder directly through a thin layer of tissue. And then just take it away again. Thank you. I like to put just a tiny bit directly on, and then I'm going to put a second layer on. It helps, it really does help, because you're putting a tiny bit of powder on just to set it, to seal it really. And just finally, to add that really glamorous touch, gorgeous gloss lip shining clear. So we've now finished Judith's makeup look, and what we're going to do now is take a few minutes just to style Judith's hair and transform her with her new outfit. So we have the big reveal, and this is the finished look, the Hollywood Glamour look for Judith. So we also have the beautiful earrings by Tulali, and we have a beautiful sequin jacket from Zara, and the lovely top from Jaeger. So I hope you've enjoyed your session today.
Thank you very much.
So we hope to be doing a lot more of these style guides. So if you have enjoyed today's video, then it would be lovely if you could pop a comment in the box below and let us know and like it. And we will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.